Hey everyone, today we're diving into a topic that many stroke survivors can relate to: recovery. I reached out to people who have been through this journey and asked them, what do you wish you were told about stroke that would have helped your recovery? The answers I received were eye opening, and I believe sharing them can make a big difference for others on this path. Let's get into it. One of the most common things that stroke survivors talked about was the emotional impact of recovery. Many weren't prepared for the grief that comes with losing their old self, the person they were before the stroke. This grief can be overwhelming and for some even more challenging than the physical recovery itself. The emotional journey is often overlooked, but it's an essential part of healing. It's not just about physical recovery, it's also about finding peace with new versions of yourself. Another key point raised was how important it is to rest, especially in the early days of recovery. Many people weren't told that fatigue is a normal part of the process, and as a result, they pushed themselves too hard and too soon. Fatigue after a stroke is real and needs to be managed carefully. Survivors shared that if they had known this earlier, they wouldn't have tried to return to work or normal activities so quickly. Rest is not a sign of weakness, it's an essential part of recovery. Now, stroke doesn't just affect the body, it can completely alter your personality and mental state. Many survivors were surprised by how much their personality changed after the stroke, and it wasn't something that they were prepared for. Additionally, issues like PTSD, anxiety, and depression are common during recovery. The mental side of recovery is often the hardest part, and survivors wished that they had been told to seek help for these challenges early on. Don't ignore the mental health aspect. It's just as important as the physical recovery. One of the most valuable things you can do in stroke recovery is to find a community of people who understand what you're going through. Many survivors mentioned that being a part of stroke recovery groups, whether in person or online, helped them feel less alone. Recovery is a long and sometimes isolating journey, but knowing that others have experienced the same struggles can be incredibly validating. Connecting with supportive community can give you the strength and motivation to keep pushing forward. One thing that came up repeatedly is the idea that recovery doesn't have a clear endpoint. Many survivors said that they wished they had known that recovery isn't something that happens in a few months or even a year. Progress can happen throughout your life, and that's an important mindset to have. Don't get discouraged if you're not seeing results as quickly as you'd like. Improvement continues in small ways, but it's there. Recovery is ongoing, and every step forward counts. Many stroke survivors discovered that the key to recovery isn't just about building strength, it's about retraining the brain. It's not always your muscles that need strengthening. Often, it's the brain's ability to send signals to those muscles. Techniques like biofeedback and electrostimulation can be more helpful than traditional physical therapy methods, which often focuses on strength rather than the brain's role in movement. Survivors wish that they had known this earlier in their recovery journey. Patience is perhaps the most important quality you need in stroke recovery. Many survivors talked about the need to be patient with yourself and to accept that you won't return to the person you were before the stroke. This doesn't mean you won't get better, it just means that recovery is about moving forward, not going back. Accepting this new version of yourself can help ease the emotional burden and allow you to focus on healing and progress. Some survivors shared how they wished that they had been given more guidance on how diet and lifestyle changes could affect their recovery. Proper nutrition and understanding what your body needs to heal can play a huge role in recovery. Unfortunately, many people are left to figure this out on their own, without much advice from their healthcare providers. Being proactive about your diet and making the right lifestyle choices can significantly impact your overall recovery and long-term health. Another key takeaway was how important emotional support is, not just from a stroke community, but from friend and family as well. However, some survivors shared that Friends and family might distance themselves after the stroke, which can be incredibly painful. It's important to focus on those who stick by you and to seek out emotional support where you can, whether it's through professional counseling, support groups, or simply talking with loved ones. Having people around who understand and support you is crucial. Finally, a message of hope. Recovery is possible and progress will happen, even if it feels slow at times. Many survivors said they wished they had known how much improvement was still possible even years after this stroke. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't happen quickly, but it's important to keep going. Progress might come in small steps, but every bit of progress counts, and you can rebuild your life even if it looks different than it did before. If you or someone you love is in the process of recovering from a stroke, I hope these insights from survivors gives you some valuable takeaways. Stroke recovery is not an easy journey, but knowing what to expect and hearing from those who've been through it can make a world of difference. Be patient with yourself, find a community of support, and remember that progress is always possible no matter how long it takes. Thank you for watching, and if this video helped you, please like, comment and share, subscribe, and let's keep supporting each other on this journey because you're not alone.